guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to Season 2, Episode 10, the final episode of the second season of the Seattle Mariners, and today we're going to play through to spring training and all that entails. The Major League Baseball awards, the free trades, the arbitration, everything, all the fun stuff that all the baseball nerds out there, including myself increasingly, really enjoy. But before that, we have to, of course, have our own end-of-season awards, so we'll get to that ceremony in just a second, and when we come back, the playoffs will be completed. We'll be able to see who's won. You can see the way the playoffs are shaping up there. So it'll be really interesting to see who ends up winning the World Series for this particular season. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get off to the end-of-season awards, and I'll see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 2020 Seattle Mariners end-of-season awards. Oh, thank you everybody. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. It's great to see you all. Thank you. Well, it was, in the end, a decent season for the Seattle Mariners. We got within 3 games of 500 towards the end there. Wasn't quite to be. But I think we did quite well. A big improvement from last season. And I think, obviously, the people to thank for that are the players. And this year, they've definitely earned a round of applause. Well done, guys. Let's kick on next season, shall we? Okay, now let's get these awards underway. The first award this evening is Most Wins by a Pitcher. And this guy is, without a doubt, a star of the future, a potential face of the franchise, and with 12 wins, the winner is, congratulations, Justus Sheffield. Alright, and now it's time to acknowledge some of the batters, with the award of Best Batting Average or Highest Batting Average. And speaking of stars of the future, potential faces of the franchise are going to have a 50-50 split, I think, because this guy is a star as well, with a batting average of .313, Bryan Reynolds. The next award is one of the big ones. It's the Golden Bullseye, awarded to the batter hit most by pitchers. I don't know what these guys do, but they're really disliked around the league. And this year, with 10 times struck by a pitch, the winner is Kyle Seager. Alright, it's time for another of the big ones now. It's the Golden Anchor, awarded to the man who drags the team down. The man who has hit into the most double plays. And let's face it, if the Mariners are known for one thing when it comes to hitting, it's definitely hitting into double plays, isn't it? And this season, with 19 double plays hit into, the winner is Bryan Reynolds. Alright, next award is the Golden Boot, awarded to the pitcher who has issued the most walks. And this season, with 64 walks issued, it's another potential star of the future. Hopefully it's the last time we see him winning this award. It's Dunn. The next award are the Golden Glasses, awarded to the batter who needs them the most, who can't see the baseball and has struck out the most times. And this season, with an impressive tally of 140 strikeouts, the winner is Kyle Seager. Kyle, it's like I told you in batting practice, mate. You hit the ball, don't let the ball hit you. You'll get it eventually. You're a talented boy. I believe in you. Okay, the next award is the Golden K, awarded to the pitcher who has struck out the most Kyle Seagers through the season. And this year, with an impressive tally of 188 strikeouts, so close to that 200 mark, it's that man again, it's Justus Sheffield. The next award is the Golden Broom, awarded to the man who sweeps clean the bases, the man with the most RBIs. And this year, well, we've seen him already this evening, with 84 RBIs, it's Bryan Reynolds. And now it's time to award an award I forgot to give out last season, silly me, but it is the award for lowest or best ERA. And this year, with an ERA very impressive of only 1.29, congratulations, Will Smith. And now it's time to acknowledge the man with most home runs through the season. And it was not a great season, let's be honest, for home runs at the Seattle Mariners. But the winner with a miserly total of 18, guys, power hitting next season, please. But the winner with 18 home runs is Kyle Seager. And now it's time for my personal favourite award of the evening. It's the horse's ass for this season's worst player. It's my chance to get a little bit back on the player that's really annoyed me throughout the season. And this year, there can only be one winner. Well, there could have been two, but one of them eventually got traded away. But for failing to play a game all season, yet getting paid $13 million, for refusing to go to AAA, for refusing to be traded, or being untradeable as the case may be, D. Gordon, you are the horse's ass. And now it is time to award this season's best pitcher. Now, as ever, there is a formula that we use to determine this award. That formula, along with all the winners for the evening, are down in the description. And in third place, with a score of 30.79, it's Justus Sheffield. In second place, with a score of 31.78, it's Will Smith. But this season's pitcher of the year, with a score of 43.14, he was our only all-star. It's Curtis Taylor. And now it's time to acknowledge the batting side of things for this season's best batter. And again, there is a formula we use to determine this prize, and that again is down in the description. In third place, with a score of 34.77, it's Tamori. In second place, with a score of 39.17, it's a quiet achiever, it's Daniel Murphy. But the winner, with an incredible score, almost double that of second place, of 73.57, Bryan Reynolds. Well done, mate. What a performance. And now it is time for the big one, to award this season's Mariner of the Year, the Golden All-Star. And it was a season where I think everybody throughout the season stood up and had really good parts of the season where they were just absolute stars of the future. And I'm really excited to see where this team can go in sort of the coming seasons here. But there was only one guy that really stood up through, let's say, 95% of the season. And I tell you what, he's revolutionized the way we hit, hasn't he? The winner is Bryan Reynolds. So there we go. Congratulations to Bryan and the rest of the winners. It was a stunning second half of the season for the Seattle Mariners, and I am so excited to see what next season holds for us. So until then, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thank you for you in the auditorium. Thank you for you watching at home. And I'll see you all again next season as we look to push for the playoffs. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your evening. So there we go, Bryan Reynolds, player of the season. Let me know what you think. I think Justus Sheffield just fell away the last few weeks of the season. His ERA kind of really bumped up, but I just think Reynolds consistently through the season was the best man. But here we go. This is how the playoffs played out. The Tampa Bay Rays are your World Series champions, beating the Nationals in the finals. Now, I'm pretty sure the Nationals won it last year, didn't they? Is there a way to tell that? There probably is. I'm 90% sure that the Nationals won it last year anyway. But it's the Tampa Bay Rays that win it this year. So they are our World Series champions. And if we go and have a look at how the standings we extended up to them, we did okay against them, I think. But they won their division, obviously. And yeah, so there we go. And the Nationals won their division as well. So arguably the Dodgers should have been a lot better, having won 108 games in the regular season, but it wasn't to be, and that's how the cookie crumbles there. Now, we do have some end-of-season messages. The big one here, D. Gordon. Would we like to keep him for the last year of his contract? No, mate. You can F off. Goodbye, D. Gordon. And take your horse's ass with you, mate. Unfortunately, Daniel Murphy, he's going to void the last year of his contract. That's a little bit of a bummer, because he was a good player for us. I didn't realize he could do that, but obviously it was in his contract. He didn't have to stay for the last year if he didn't want to. So we may be on the lookout for a new first baseman. He's 35 years old, though, so we'll kind of see where that goes. And, of course, we do have the $14 million that D. Gordon was going to be on. So that's a nice little bonus to have there. The owner, new goals. Let's have a look what he has to say for himself. I reviewed the goals set out for you. My comments are below. Team record, I did expect a little bit more, but finishing 77, 85 is certainly nothing to write home about. Better luck next year. The acquisition of Daniel Murphy pleases me. When I asked for a team leader, I knew you'd come through. Commend you on a job well done. Of course, it wasn't just Murphy who's actually left, ironically, but Taylor Walls. There's a number of team leaders that we got in, which probably really helped in the season, to be honest. The attendance numbers look fantastic. So that's fine. We did that easily. Keep working on the increasing of the profits. I don't understand why I don't just lessen my budget, but anyway, that's fine. Long term, I gave you the goal in 2019 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. The deadline is not up yet. We're still a few years away. However, I'm not sure I feel too confident right now, but I won't jump to conclusions. I hope to see you make some progress towards this next season. He's happy with the overall accomplishments towards the goal, so that's good. Next year's goals, play close to 500, so that's the same. Improve the home runs. We were poor in home runs this year. That is something we want to do. Acquire a hometown player. I'm guessing I'm looking for somebody that is born in Seattle, or is it Washington State? I'm not quite sure exactly what constitutes a hometown player, but that's... I'm hoping I can search for that. If I haven't figured that by the end of the episode, guys, let me know in the comments what constitutes a hometown player exactly. Increase home attendance up to 40,000 per game. I mean, he's not asking for much there, is he? Final balance of 19 million. Keep building the team up towards reaching in the next 4 seasons. So that's 2023. So we've got a few more years to do that yet. New budget for the season. 150 million towards team payroll. We'll go and have a look at that in just a second. We've got some staff members retiring. Some staff members who I'm fairly sure that I checked this and kept the guys we wanted to keep. So I'm really hoping I did, or else I've let some good coaches go. The off-season begins. Arbitration period begins. And there's some other news there. Nothing that really affects us, it looks like. So let's go and have a look at arbitration, shall we? And have a look at what we can do here. Gonzalez, current salary $1 million. I think if we can get him for 1.1, that's probably worthwhile. Semi, Tui, Vui, La La La. I do like him to a point, mainly just cost of the name. Let's give him 800,000. Let's see if we can get him for that. Also got here Ryan Healy. I think we just withdraw. Ryan Healy he's a good defensive player, but he's not really kicked on. He was in AAA last year, batted .293, which isn't horrible. WAR of 1.6. We do need a first baseman. That's the thing, isn't it? But I just wonder if maybe we let him go. Yeah, we'll do that. Vogelbach, he didn't have a great year, but I still think, I mean, he could be the first baseman, then we can look to upgrade from there. Wasn't great last year, as I said, only batting .212, but we know last season before that he was quite good for. He's only 27, so I think we look to keep him. Malik Smith, $5 million. I really like Malik Smith, so I'm happy with that. And Mitch Haniger, 9. What if we do 9 even? He is relatively consistent for us. So let's maybe try that. I'm not quite sure what to do about him there. Murphy and D. Gordon are leaving. Pending minor league free agents. That's fine. There's no one there. I think we already checked that. There's no one there we're particularly worried about keeping. I'll go back and offer all the minor league guys a contract if we think that there's any sort of potential there whatsoever. But otherwise, that is that. Award voting. I don't usually vote in the awards because I don't really understand what it all means. But anyway, if we get there quickly enough. Most valuable player. I'm not going to vote because I'm not going to vote properly. I'm just going to vote for our own players. So we'll just let the game decide who are the best players. Speaking of awards, guys, wait right there. We'll be back. I think the awards are the next thing, aren't they? Or is it arbitration? It's the Golden Glove announcement. Freddie Galvis has to be a chance. Okay, we have some breaking news, and that is the re-signing of Daniel Murphy. He really didn't test free agency very well, I've got to say, because he was actually asking for less money than he was currently on. So what we've done is we have signed him. It's a 3-year deal. Where are we here? Now he's 35, I get that. But it's a 3-year deal. The first season's first 2 are $6.5 million. And the final season, there's a vesting option if he plays 120 games. Now, I don't know if that means in season 2, if he doesn't play 120 games, then season 3, we can get rid of him or he can leave. It's sort of both. I'm assuming both parties have a chance to do that. Third year is a vesting option requiring 120 games. You can see there. So I'm assuming in season 2, if you let me know in the comments, that if he doesn't play 120 games, then either party can pull out of the deal. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. the way that works. But I'm pretty happy with that, I'll be honest. We're going to pay him less money than he's on right now. He's not showing any signs of decline just yet. He was a very decent hitter for us last year. When we could see he was second. Was it second in the end of season awards, I think? So I think that's a really good signing. He's a leader in the clubhouse. We're paying him less than we did before, and he's still a good defensive player. And to be honest, there wasn't really anything in free agency that was as good as him anyway. So I'm happy with that. So the Golden Gloves have been awarded, and there was no Texas Rangers. There was Texas Rangers. There was no there was no Seattle Mariners. I really thought Galvis must be a chance, but Aldrich and Simmons, yeah, he's good, isn't he? So maybe fair enough there. But there we go. No Mariners to get that award. We can see the National League side of things there as well. A couple of Mets there. Louis Gormore, if we remember him from our series with the Mets. So there we go. That is that. The next award is the Reliever of the Year. Curtis Taylor. Outsider for that, I'd say. No, a snub of Curtis Taylor. The winner is Blake Treinen of the Cleveland Indians. He's decent, isn't he? You've got to say he's a free agent too. I wonder if it's just might add him to the shortlist and see if we can... He's more of a closer though, isn't he? It's more middle relief that we're looking for. So there we go. We didn't have anybody in the top 5 reckoning there. And the National League reliever went to Caleb Ferguson. Now here we go. He's got a little bit more stamina about him. Is he a free agent? No, but let's just add him to the shortlist anyway. All right, next up, I think it's hitting, isn't it? It's Platinum Sticks. Let's see who can hit the ball. Again, no Seattle Mariners for the Platinum Stick Awards. You've got Houston Astros there, Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, Chicago White Sox, Royals, Athletics. I tell you what, batting .255, surely Bryan Reynolds was better than that. I don't know if it probably goes off sort of the accumulation of everything. 57 home runs probably helps these scores, doesn't it? But there we go. And unfortunately, Vogelbach nowhere near the designated hitter award this year. And for the National League, Syndergaard was the best hitter. Go on, son. Look, there's a few Mets in here. Go on, Petey, my boy Blue. And there we go. The next award is Rookie of the Year. Now, if this isn't Bryan Reynolds, I just might quit. There we go. It had to be, didn't it? It had to be. What a season it was by Bryan Reynolds. And he is the American League Rookie of the Year. And Curtis Taylor was there as well in the conversation. But look at that. 100, I'm assuming it's that votes or points. 2,948. I don't know what that means. But team, player, first place, total points. Oh, okay. So 29 people voted him first. And he got 148 points total. It was almost unanimous. So well done, Bryan Reynolds. That is very, very well deserved. A fantastic first up season. And on the National League side of things, it was Demario Olivier, and he is a left fielder as well. So good season for the left fielders of Rookie of the Year competitions, isn't it? All right, the next award is Manager of the Year. I don't think it's going to be Scott Severus somehow. So Manager of the Year goes to the Tampa Bay's manager. That is fair enough. And on the other side of things, it was the Philadelphia Phillies manager, so not the Washington Nationals. But there we go. All right, next up, it's Cy Young, I think, isn't it? Who's going to be Cy Young? Almost certainly not a Mariner. So Garrett Cole, who we wanted to sign from free agency, only goes on and takes the Cy Young award. We did look at that. Curtis Taylor got 7 votes, or 7 points. So well done to him. He's in the conversation, but I mean, has a reliever ever won Cy Young? It's really just one for the starters, isn't it? So there we go. Well done to Garrett Cole. And on the National League side of things, it was Aaron Nola. Now we try to get him from free agency as well, I think. He's a really good pitcher, isn't he? Is he on the short list? Yes, he is. We're next to no chance of getting him now. But there we go. That is how the voting worked out on the National League side of things. Next up, it is the MVP. So the MVP for the the American League is Mike Trout of the LA Angels. We did get a couple of votes. If we look down here, Bryan Reynolds picked up 5 points. So, well, as I said, it's a stunning rookie season for him. Hopefully he can continue to grow from there. And if we look on the National League side of things, it was Nolan Ariant, this guy. $35 million a year, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? He is quite the player, though, isn't he? Look, very, very decorated. So he was the American. No, what are we doing? The National League MVP, and you can see all the other votes there. And we'll just scroll down a bit so you can see that at the bottom that was there. So that's the end of Major League Baseball awards season. Next up, it's the arbitrations. We've kind of done well. We've filed what we want to file. Let's see how we do. Okay, arbitration filings are in, and let's have a look and see how we did here. Now, we are Semi Tui Buli La La La, our new 1 year deal for 800,000, so we got what we wanted on that one, so that's good. Mitch Haniger, we got the 9 million that we wanted rather than the 10 million that he wanted, so that's good. Malik Smith, 5 million, roughly what he wanted anyway, so that's good. Gonzalez, we got the 1.1 that we offered, so again, that's a good. And Vogelbach, again, we got what we wanted. So they were very, very good to us this year. You've got to say. So that being the case, let's have a look now and see what we have when free agency is filed. I think it's sort of tomorrow, isn't it, in game? So we have a lot of money to spend this year. 51 million, 51.5 million on free agents and almost 53 million on extension. So money to spend this season. And if we're looking where we want to spend it, I think bullpen. I think middle relief here was where we let ourselves down. We can see here a lot of high ERAs, relatively speaking, into sort of the rest of the team there. So I think that's ideally where we want. I think if we have Brendan Brennan, Curtis Taylor, and Will Smith as sort of the three, there's two setups in the closer there, then that's not too bad. We need to get some left-handed arms in that bullpen as well. So if we can get a left-handed middle reliever or two, I think we'll have done quite well. Starting pitching, I said, didn't I, last episode? I wouldn't be completely against going in again with this same lineup because Sheffield's going to improve, Martin's going to improve, Dunn's going to improve, and Gonzalez is solid enough. He might be one that he's maybe the one we could look to improve. He doesn't have much movement, but he only gave up almost 2 home runs per 9 innings. But if his whip is relatively low, which it tends to be, then it doesn't cost him too much. But you can see there the difference between previous seasons before the injury and after the injury he had last season. So that serious injury, it's doubled the amount of home runs he gives up. So he may be one we look to move on. If we go and have a look at who's available in the free agency, we can see there's a few relievers that are around, but it's mostly closers, to be honest. And we don't need a closer. I feel like we can close out games relatively well this year. It's going to be that relief pitcher. Brad Hand looks to be the best. He's a lefty as well, so this might be the guy we want to try and go after without breaking the bank for him. He hasn't got the best stamina though, so he's maybe not the middle reliever that we're looking for. But we'll have a look and see. You can see there, as I said, no real good starting pitchers necessarily available. No sort of lights out guys anyway that you'd be like, yes, this is the guy we need. So we'll kind of see. I wonder if we could get someone like him and turn him into a reliever. That might be an option, but we do need a left hand in the bullpen, don't we? And even in terms of outfielders, there's not really too much available. But anyway, free agency will be filed soon, and we'll see how we go between now and spring training. Okay, free agency has been filed, and the one part I always forget is, of course, there is the international free agents that enter the market. And I just want to introduce you all to Cornel Hesko. A legend is born, everybody. 16 million. He's going to go for more than that, almost certainly. But he's a right-hander, but obviously he's a starting pitcher as well. But what I'm thinking, he's relatively, control is a problem, kind of, but everything else is so good. It's an absolute no-brainer to try and get this guy. And what we could look to do, I'm thinking, is that Gonzalez could just go and play in the bullpen for us. If we were to change him to a reliever, We've got it. That gives us a left arm in the bullpen and an absolute god amongst men as a starting pitcher. So that is an absolute no-brainer. I'm just going to do it now. He's only 27 as well. So do we want a player opt-out there? Can we get rid of that? It doesn't look like we can. That's going to be just a thing. 8 years takes him, to 35? I'm going to say we just do it. Ask for a response. Let's hope we can just get him across the line nice and early, hassle-free, and that will be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Because as we saw, there wasn't too much really available just in free agency in general. So let's go back and have a look now at the free agents and see what we get. Let me know what you guys think. Well, you'll know by the end of the episode whether we get that guy or not, or hopefully. Hopefully it's not going to get too drawn out there. But if we look at free agents here, he's the one, isn't he? He's going to be hot property. The other guy, who was the other guy here that I said, the left-handed bullpen pitcher? He's here somewhere, isn't he? Was it this? That wasn't him, was it? Who was it? Was it? No, it wasn't Kimbrell. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time. Was it this guy maybe? 34 lefty. Wants 6 million. No, he doesn't have the stamina, does he? There was some. Anyway, well, let's not dwell on it. But yeah, so there we go. That is the free agency. If we can get that starter, I think Gonzalez in the bullpen. That's sort of a middle reliever or sort of an option in the bullpen. That's a left armor as well. And that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, I did have a look actually for the hometown players. We're very, very limited in our options. If we go to player search here, yeah, we're very, very limited in our options. And a little bit of a mistake that I've made in hindsight is actually re-signing Daniel Murphy. Because if we have a look here, contains... There's actually a decent first baseman born in Seattle. Now, he's on 19 million a year, so I don't think he's worth that. But, you know, it's really only him, or it's the starter here, Blake Snell, who I would take at a heartbeat, to be honest. But the problem is that then they don't want to trade, which is shocking, isn't it, really, when you think about it? They don't want to trade him. So getting a hometown player is going to prove difficult, just basically because we're really, really lacking in quality options there. But anyway, free agency's begun. Let's see where it takes us. Oh, it's always nice to get down to Mexico in the winter, to get some sun on the skin, recharge the batteries, and look forward to the new season. And, oh look, there's some kids playing some baseball over there. I should go and say hello. And, oh, wow, whoa, my, look at that picture. That is incredible. I must have him. Senor, would you like to play for El Mariners? Boys and girls, may I introduce you to Luis Cervantes. What a pitcher this guy is. A scouting discovery from Mexico. 16 years old. Head scout thinks he's a god. OSA thinks he's less of a god, more of a man, but a good man nonetheless. If we even get somewhere in the middle, I tell you what, even that is not bad. We may have just unearthed an absolute star of the game. Let's hope that the head scout's closer on the ratings on this particular guy. But yeah, really, really, I mean, sacrifice bunting is going to be good either way. Good defensively. Holding runners and stamina is good. You can see they're roughly the same. It's just the pitching, the important stuff. That's the little bit of a variance there. But hopefully, Luis Cervantes will be a star of the future. A little ways away yet, even if we go down to rookie ball. He's only sort of just at a level. So he is a fair way away just yet. But yeah, Luis Cervantes, remember the name. Okay, everybody, thank you for your efforts. We look fantastic. First of all, I have to say that. Now, remember, this guy has come a long way from the Czech Republic. He's going to be nervous. He's going to probably be a little bit shy. So we want to give him a nice, big, warm Seattle welcome with a bit of a Czech flavor as well. Now, everybody remember the song that we've written on his behalf? Okay, now everybody after me, let's have a quick rehearsal. Let's talk about checks, baby. Let's talk about strikes 1, 2, 3. Let's talk about all the ground balls and the fly balls. We will see. We've done it. We have signed Cornell Hursko. What a signing he could prove to be. The number 1 starting pitcher almost in baseball, you've got to say. This guy has come out of absolutely nowhere. And I failed to see how he's not going to be an absolute star. It might take him a little bit to sort of settle into the league, perhaps. But if those attributes are and you've got to think that it's going to be somewhere up there because it's the same on both. What a player we have signed. He's an extremely hard worker. He's intelligent on and off the field. He's well respected by his teammates. We're only paying him but $15 million a year. We've got him for the next, 8 years. He's still only at that stage going to be 35. So, serious injury aside, his injury proneness is normal. I don't see a downside to this guy, and we've got him at the Seattle Mariners. And is that the piece that could just be the difference between us maybe getting to 500 next year, or actually going and challenging for a place in the postseason? I cannot believe we've signed him. I cannot wait for next season to start. Okay, another free agent signing in the bullpen done, and this time it's Brad Hand. I found the left-handed guy I was looking at before. I think he's going to do quite well for us. OSA and head scout have him roughly the same, so that's good. $6 million a year for 3 years, so that's not too bad. He's been a really good pitcher. You can see his WAR has been, since he came into the majors, has been a positive pretty much the entire time. ERA Plus has been good to great the entire time. His whip has been relatively good, although maybe fading a little bit of late, which maybe is a problem. ERAs, which I know isn't what we should be looking at, but they've been relatively stable recent seasons as well. So I think that's another good bullpen option now. And I'd almost go as far as to say that, we might be getting to the point here where we're done. Certainly pitching side of things is look at that starting rotation for next year. Cornell, Justus, Ryan Barucki, Corbin Martin, and Dunn. If they live up to what they did last year, and if Cornell is anything like what he should be, then we might have the best starting rotation in baseball, to be honest. Maybe that's an overstatement, but I'm really excited by it. It's the batting side of things that we could still work on. I'm kind of counting on the fact that the youngsters will continue to develop and be better next season than they were this season. I'm thinking Vogelbach will surely be better than he was this past season. So we'll have a look around. We'll see what there is to trade, but I'm relatively happy with what we've got. So yeah, let's see where we go from here. Okay, it's Rule 5 draft time, or at least it would be if there was anybody worth picking up. It doesn't look as though this particular season there's no Bryan Reynolds available, so it doesn't look as though we'll take part in it this year. Of course, anybody we were to get would have to be in the major league team, and I just don't think that there's anybody there that's going to be at that level for us. So there's no point forcing it. This guy would be decent actually, but maybe a bullpen. But yeah, I just don't think that there's worth it. We could probably just trade for him anyway. We'll add him to the short list. So there is no Rule 5 draft this year, or nothing worth mentioning in any case. Alright, now the Hall of Fame voting is done for the year. Roger Clemens is inducted into the Hall of Fame, as he should be. He took to his 9th year. They only get 10, don't they? So he took it right to the end. You can see there a couple of players have dropped off. I recognize the name Barry Zito, AJ Burnett, I think I recognize, but they're pretty much the only ones for me personally. But there you go, you guys are going to know all those names. But the reason we've come back here is because we have a new hitting coach. Marcus Thames, he's well regarded as a hitting coach. The Louisville, Mississippi native doesn't let his hitters leave batting practice until they've put a ball over the fence. I like his style. So we've got a power hitting coach here. He gets along with young players and seems to have a greater influence on them, which is good because we have a lot of young players. He had been at the Yankees, their hitting coach, the last 2 years with limited success, especially last season. The batting average dropped a little. That could be more down to the Yankees than down to him. We don't have any power hitters that have a greater influence on, but I'm hoping just generally him in batting practice will help the situation there. So the reason I did that as well is that there's not really any hitters available for us to get into the club. So I think if you look at our hitting numbers last year, they weren't good enough. We were 15th in home runs. Batting WAR we were 13th. What's that on? I don't know what that is. On base percentage though, we were 11th. Batting average, we were 11th. Compare that to the pitching, which ironically we've strengthened even more so. Something has to change in the hitting, and if there's no players available for us to try and be able to bring them in, then hitting coach seemed the obvious one. I did have a quick ship around. You can see Kyle Sager's annoyed right now. I did have a quick ship around to see if we could get him out. He's on $18 million a year, and he wasn't great for us with the bat last year. This is his last season. We have a team opt out for next season for $0. So I'm thinking we'll just give him this year and see what happens. We do have another third baseman sort of at the club that we had on a minor year contract. Did I call him in or just put him on the active roster so he wouldn't get fifth rule drafted? This guy here, Salate, who's not as good defensively, but arguably as good with the bat. Less power, but he kind of is what he is. So he batted really well last year, 318, WAR of 2.5 down in AAA. So I thought, we've got an option there, but no one's coming in for Sega, not even claiming him off waivers. So that kind of just is what it is. We'll keep trying. Where are we at here? We're at January 20th, so about a month and a half away from spring training. But yeah, we've got a batting coach. Hopefully that'll improve the batting. Okay, spring training is about to begin, so that ends our sort of playthrough here. Now, one thing that did happen is we did find another decent enough pitching prospect. OSA doesn't rate him too highly. Dominican Republic starter 1, Galdado, but the head scout says there's something there. So we'll wait and see on that one. He doesn't have the best mental attributes there, but there's nothing there about him not working. It says he will eventually harness his energy and improve his knowledge of the game. So let's hope that there is something there eventually, although looking at that change-up, possibly not a starting pitcher, maybe more of a reliever. But we'll wait and see what happens to old Delgado there. So there we go. Let me know what you think of how we've done, what we need to do still. I think the pitching just looks an absolute star. And again, I am just so excited to see what Colonel Hesko can do for us as a Seattle Mariner. I'm so excited. I really, really am. Of course, a reminder that we did also get in Brad Hand into the bullpen, a left arm into the bullpen, which is something I think we really, really lacked last year. So he looks like a good, solid acquisition. And of course, we'll also have Gonzalez into the bullpen as well. And I think he'll do fine there. I think he'll be a really decent option for us. And he'll be somebody that we can also use as a starter if we need to. So I'm excited to see what the pitching staff can do. Now, one thing that has happened, if you remember, we've increased the roster. You can't see it now because it's a spring training roster. But I've increased the roster to 26 players as per... I did have it down at 24 for some reason, but I believe that in real life, actually in the 2020 season, but 2021, it is going to be 26 players. So we've increased the size of the roster. We're still looking for potential players to come in on the hitting side of things, but I'm hoping the new batting coach will work things out a little bit for us. I did also call up Jared. This is a youngster that you guys are all very, very aware of. So we've called him up into the Major League team for spring training and just kind of see what he can do. I think he's actually a better prospect than Kyle Lewis, to be honest. So he might be one to come in, and Kyle Lewis might be one that we send back down because he really didn't cut it last year, even though he did do okay in AAA. The problem, if there is one with Kalanick, is that he's only been playing A baseball. He's been playing it really well, but that's a massive, massive step up. So we'll see how he does in spring training. He may need some time in AAA just to get himself up to speed. But there we go. That's the season as it stands right now. The front office, we're looking really good for finances. What I did do is I did increase our scouting budget up to the $24 million. That's kind of the league maximum. So we can really work on scouting these amateurs and international scouting. I don't really understand the point of scouting major league and minor league. Like, those players are already found. Yeah, I think international and amateur is where we want to be spending that. And we did increase our money for the player development as well. I was 15, so we've gone up to 19. We have a lot of good young players. We want to make sure we're getting the best out of them. So that's all been taken care of. That's the front office. The owner is still looking okay. He's still happy, in a good mood. We've got to play, get closer to 500 ball, improve home runs, which hopefully, again, with our power hitting coach, that'll work that up. That's going to be tough. And the hometown play is going to be really tough because there's no one really that is, I would say, affordable and also useful at the same time. So I don't know if do you guys know, a question for the class, if we were to acquire a hometown player and just stick him in AAA, was that okay? I wonder if that would, but I'm assuming that he wants him in the first team, in the Major League team. But anyway, we'll be back on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We have opening day this season up against, that still looks like spring training, up against the Oakland A's. So that will be next episode. We'll play through spring training. We'll see if we can strengthen the hitting in any way, shape, or form. We've got a last game of spring training against the A's, a couple of days off, and then we go and play them again on opening day. So that'll be, as I said, for Monday, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you have enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you for a new season with a brand new pitching staff and brand new hope. Can we get to the playoffs with a team that we've seen? Hitting's going to be the question mark, isn't it? Take care.